Welcome back to the Friday Night Deck Review's final polish, where the following Wednesday, after the Friday Night Deck Review live streams, after I've had a little while to look at the decks, I give you some updated suggestions for your decks. This week on the live stream, we took a look at Yorsum's Teval Arbiter of Virtue deck, which has a little extra spice added to it. We'll get into it. And we took a look at Wheelmaster's Max and Lucas partner decks. New season of Stranger Things. It felt appropriate. By the way, my personal favorite season. I saw a couple videos of people not liking it, which I was like, this is just nitpicky. That's just me. Starting things off with Max and Lucas. Lucas, the sharpshooter, is a blue and a red for a 1/3. You can tap him, sacrifice an artifact. Lucas, the sharpshooter, deals 1 damage to target creature. Goad that creature. And Max, the daredevil, is 1 a green and a red for a 3/2 haste. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, untap target creature, then investigate. We're casting 2 spells. We're trying to cast 2 spells. We're making clues. We're turning those clues into pings to remove anything that has 1 power or goad anything big and force some combat. As Wheelmaster says, multispell in as many turns as possible to make clues with Max and goad/kill creatures with Lucas. This deck is very focused on making the clues and using the clues for value in different ways. Whether that be turning the clues into damage with something like Ingenious Artillerist, or turning the clues into 1 red and a 1/1 counter in terms of Crime Novelist. Nice ad, by the way. Also, keep in mind with Max's whole play a second spell, untap a creature, a lot of the time you're pinging for 2 with Lucas can get rid of a lot of annoying stuff in the game. We're making the clues, we're goading creatures, we're getting clue interaction and synergy, we're bringing home games with value. I got some suggestions, my guy. I cannot remember if I brought this up on stream, so it's going to be my first suggestion. Death Shaker Titan. I'm pretty sure I did on stream. I just couldn't find it when I went back through the live, so I am going to bring it up again. Feel free to skip. 5 and 2 red, 5/5. When it enters the battlefield, any number of non-creature artifacts become 3/3s until the end of your next turn, and you sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Each artifact creature you control has melee, trample, and haste. Sure, you have to sack them at the end of your turn. We have a Lucas on our side of the board that likes to sack artifacts, so we can just do that before the Depth Shaker Titan sack, and you don't have to tap clue tokens to sack stuff. I'm not telling you this, Wheelmaster. I'm telling all these other guys. You need to put a Forensic Gadgeteer in this deck. And I hear you. I really do hear you, my guy. You're going to say, I run 6 artifacts in my deck, including the creature artifact creatures. So you're not going to be getting a ton of investigations off Forensic Gadgeteer. You will be getting a few, though, so it's not nothing. But also, activated abilities of artifacts you control cost 1 less to activate. So your clues cost 1 to pop. And I understand you might be thinking, hey, I'm using a lot of my clues to sack to my Lucas. But if you're getting 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 clues, I don't think they're all going to Lucas. You know what I mean? I think you might be netting some clue gains in some of your games. Again, I get it. There's certain cards where the first part might turn you off for a deck. I think the second part is good enough to run in a clue deck for sure. A 3-drop 2/3 that makes your clues cost 1 to crack. That seems good. And then just turning 6 of your cards into your deck, potentially if you make more artifact swaps in the future, more cards in your deck turn into more clues. I think that could be pretty good. Might I recommend Bounding Crisis? 1 a blue and a green, 3/3, flash. When it enters the battlefield, you may tap or untap target creature. You wait for someone else's turn. Go ahead and drop a Bounding Crisis to untap your Lucas, tap your Lucas, sack 1 of your clues, ping something, and then follow that up with 1 of your counter spells you're going to use that turn, or 1 of your pieces of removal or card draw you're going to use that turn, because this deck, runs 21 instants. You're trying to play multi-spells during other people's turns. Then when you follow it up with that removal, that counterspell, that card draw during someone else's turn, that will trigger your Max to untap your Lucas. You get another Lucas ping. You're netting an extra Lucas ping built into a 3/3. That's not only a 3/3, it also has flash, which adds into the casting 2 spells during other people's turn aspects of the deck. I think this plays super well into everything your deck's trying to do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm dead on. Then my final suggestion for your deck, Wheelmaster, is Seedborn Muse. Holy, in this deck, you're getting an extra Lucas, you're getting extra mana to crack your clues, you're getting extra mana to play double spells during people's turns to get more clues to use Lucas more. Next, we're going to look at Yorsum's Teval Arbiter of Petitions deck. Teval is 2, a black, a green, and a blue for a 6/6 flying lifelink. Spells you cast have Delve, which means you can exile cards out of your graveyard to make them cost 1 less. And whenever you cast a spell, you lose life equal to its mana value. Yeah, losing life when you cast stuff is a pretty good trade-off for having one of the most powerful mechanics built into every spell you cast. Also, you have big 6/6 dragon for 5 that has lifelink. So a little bit different than most Teval Arbiter of Virtue decks. A lot of them are just like graveyard decks. You're milling yourself, you're filling your graveyard, and you are playing giant stuff at a low cost, and that's kind of the end of it. Yorsum, he's a subscriber to this channel, so it's never the end of it when we're deck building. He decided to go the Persistent Petitioners route. He's using Teval to fuel this whole deck strategy of getting as many Persistent Petitioners out as possible. If you're not aware, Persistent Petitioner is 1 and a blue for a 1/3. You can pay 1, tap it, target player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. Or you can tap 4 untapped advisors you control. Target player puts the top 12 cards of their library into their graveyard. A deck can have any number of cards named Persistent Petitioners. It also gets to run some super unique stuff that no other commander deck gets to run. Nearly no other commander deck. Stuff like Doubling Chant. For every creature we control, search your library for another creature with the same name. Oh, you have 6 Petitioners? Make it 12. I've got 4 suggestions for you as well. One of them leans a little bit more towards like the Teval's ability being very powerful. The other 3 lean more towards the fact that it's a Persistent Petitioners deck. So I hope we struck a little bit of a balance here. All of them, I think, really, really good in the list. The first one is the Teval-centered card, Repay in Kind. For 5 and 2 black, at sorcery speed, each player's life total becomes the lowest life total among all players. In this deck, this is a 2-drop. That's obvious. Also in this deck, you run Exsanguinate. Seeing what I'm getting at? A little win con in your back pocket type deal. Speaking of giant cards that are extraordinarily good in this list, Volgavoth the Terror Eater, it's no longer like a $30 card, it's $12. 6 and 3 black, 9/9, flying, lifelink, which is going to help with your Teval. Ward, sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. If a card you didn't control would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere. Oh, anywhere, huh? Even milling them? Huh. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with Volgavoth. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana cost rather than pay its mana cost. Oh, would you look at that? We're running stuff like Platinum Angel, Platinum Empyrean. Our commander's got lifelink and is a 6/6. Stuff like Exsanguinate. I think we might be okay at staying at higher life than you'd expect, or just being okay with being at 0 in some situations. This is disgusting. I'm going to tap 4 of my Petitioners and have you mill 12. Yeah, I'm going to cast any of that I want for paying my life with it. Oh, you want to get rid of it? Yeah, cool. Just sack 3 non-land permanents. That's my bad. I just realized one of these isn't technically legal. It might be if the rule change goes through, so we'll save that one as the last suggestion. My best suggestion here, Thrumming Stone needs to get put in this deck. 5 for a legendary artifact. Spells you cast have Ripple 4. What the fuck is that, you might ask? When you cast a spell, you may reveal the top 4 cards of your library, and you may cast spells with the same name. So every time you play a Persistent Petitioner, top 4, play any more PPs off the tee. Don't really have to explain that much farther. Disgusting. In any deck that you can run any number of a card, put it in. And then finally, if the little hybrid mana rule goes through, where you can run hybrid mana in decks that are at least one of the color, Immortal Servitude needs to get put in this deck if that rule goes through. X, and in this case, for your deck, it would be X and 3 black. Sorcery, return each creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. So you go ahead and pay 2 for that and recur all of your Persistent Petitioners. So all of them that you accidentally self-mill, all of them that die. I'm going to go ahead and pay 3 black in my deck. Exile 2 things out of the bin for the delve. Get back all my PPs from G. Those are my suggestions, boys. I hope they were at all useful. If you want to submit your own decks for Friday Night Deck Reviews, you can become a YouTube member, Patreon member. Starts as low as $1. You could even be a member for a month and then back out, and you'll still get access to the forum where you can submit your decks for Friday Night Deck Reviews. Anyway, boys, hope this was useful. Go check out some of the other stuff on the channel if you haven't already. We got an upload coming Friday that I think you guys are going to like. We're talking about underplayed game ender cards. I'll see you guys next time.